I would be among the first to admit that we made mistakes in government. I will be among the first to admit that there was corruption within previous Antigua Labour Party administrations. But I have to admit that the corruption that exists today under the UPP regime makes corruption under the previous A.L.P administration child's play, my dear people.
I mean, this thing is explosive.
There will be no job losses under the Labour Party administration.
There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance,
I now turn to the water shortage that has plagued this country for some time. And I say to you tonight that leadership matters. I say to you tonight that the water shortage that our people have been experiencing is an issue that belongs to a different age. And I say too that we have made positive steps in order to resolve the water problem. And I guarantee you that within 14 days, there will be increased water supply in this country.
Let's face the music and dance.
A cornerstone of our general election campaign was the provision of affordable housing. Indeed, we promised 500 homes in 500 days. And we said to you that you would have gotten 500 homes in 500 days. Those with little or no vision said that it could not be done. Well, as your Prime Minister, I said to you that it can be done and that it shall be done.
Let's face the music and dance. Let's face the music and dance.
I mean, this thing is explosive.
This is True Labor Talks with your host, the executive of the Antigua Barbuda True Labor Party.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. V.A.B.R.D. III, chairman of the Antigua Barbuda True Labor Party. And as usual, I'm in studio with my co-host Lionel Nedwell. And we're here today to share the next hour with you to talk about the issues concerning Antigua and Barbuda politically, socially, economically. And one of the things you usually start off with is the campaign that I am conducting in St. John's Rural South. I am the caretaker of that constituency and hopefully will be the candidate for the True Labour Party in the next general election in Antigua and Barbuda. It was a very interesting week we had campaigning, because we've been campaigning solidly since the middle of February, and it's been going well. Now let me just introduce my co-host Lionel Nedwell. Say a few words, Lionel.
Yes, good afternoon to the listeners out there. And we are here this afternoon just to inform you of what's been happening with our party. We have so much things on the burner to get done. And then we do hope that in due time we will have them done and we'll be serving the nation well right after that. But as my co-host just said, we'll be talking about the campaign, and we've been doing that since early February, and we've been doing that, and it's going quite well. I will let my co-host tell you exactly what's going on with that, and I'll take it up after.
Yes, it was a very good week of campaigning. Enjoyable to just see so many people showing interest. Where we were campaigning, we saw some ladies on the veranda And, you know, they're wondering what's going on, boy. They haven't seen this ever. So we told them we're coming back. We're going down the road. And we'll be right back when we start from the bottom of the road coming back.
That's right.
You know,
They were so eager.
It's the problem was it's jobs, work. People need to get gainful employment. People don't want to have to go and beg and steal or involve themselves in some sort of illegal activity to make ends meet. The campaign was really focused on one road, both sides of the road, and you saw so many people coming from Dominica, from the devastation over
Caribbean.
there. Some of them were in Antigua, and they were wondering what was going on. You know, they saw us campaigning our shirts and so on, so they were asking questions. We saw some Jamaicans and so on.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw some guys cleaning their car and so on. But what the most interesting part I like is that when I went to the man in the back house there,
Yeah.
he said,
He was
"Oh,
into
man, no,
it.
you're ready, man.
He
We
was
hear you on
into
the
it.
radio all the
That's
time, boy. Yeah, like oh,
That's right.
you never met the man before. Oh,
No,
over
but
here,
yeah,
right,
like
man.
he
You know,
met you.
you feel sort of
Yeah.
special
That's right.
that you're
You
getting
know,
your
he had
message
you.
out. They know
He
what
had
you
you in-
stand for,
That's right.
right? And obviously, he's of the same sentiment. He
Of
started to
course,
smile and say,
of
"Oh,
course.
Via man, yeah, man, he hear on the radio all the time and get a help." So
That's
you
right.
feel good about that. But where we're campaigning, it's the same issues about signage, about the road works, about the lack of cutting the grass and cleaning up the constituency, the communities in it. So many people said they did not see the I should say the former representative now, Eustace Tico Lake,
Yeah.
because we know that he's no longer going to be the candidate.
That's right.
So people are just saying they never saw him, and he has been there from since 2009, right? And actually before 2009, I mean, he started campaigning in 2008 for the 2009 election.
Yep.
So that is nearly 9 years that they had
Absolutely.
the capacity, or he had the capacity to let the
To-
people know
that's
not
right.
only his voice or an image of him, but to see them
It's
in the
his
flesh.
presence. That's right.
And people are saying, no, they did not see him.
Not
The
a
lady told
thing.
us on that same road that she never saw him, but she heard his name, she know his name, and she seen his picture or so on, but
Isn't that
she
something?
never saw
Isn't-
Eustace Tigo
As a
Lake
representative.
in 9 years from since he was the candidate for the Antigua Labour Party 2008. It is mind-blowing
Yeah.
because that sort of stuff on such a small island that you cannot get around to let all
You know what I'm
your electors know you, or bare minimum that they come to a meeting where you attend. That never happened. So his political career is over now. He had what 8 years
Yeah.
of doing absolutely nothing
Nothing
for
to
the people
gloat
of St.
about.
John's Rules. So
Nothing to gloat
but
about.
life moves on, you know. God is in the midst of everything, and just like Winston Williams, it was a waste of time. I guess he said we gave this one 10 years. Winston got 5 years. That is 15 years wasted representation. Voting for a man
Absolutely.
that never represented you, but just
Absolutely.
looked about his
Yeah.
friends and
It's about that.
his special, what do you call them again? Cronies.
Cronies.
Cronies, yeah.
Yeah, it's in some cases not even his friends. But yeah, as you said, the campaign is going on nicely. There was this one guy that we met coming up there, that same road that you spoke about, the Jamaican guy. And, you know, he was saying, one thing that I don't like within the political structure is the promises that people make and they don't go through with the promises.
Yeah.
He was really adamant on that. And, you know, that reminds me of the bunch of promises that Labour Party made before the last election. And not one of these promises has been come to be rectified in terms of things that's been happening and need to be rectified and stuff like that. None of those things have been happening. So people are really... They're out there now and they're really thinking, you know, what's going on. They're seeing what's going on and they're nuts for it and they're voicing their opinion that they're nuts for it. And I'm glad to know that. Other than that, there was some eagerness on the other side of the road where these young ladies waited for us. Even though we tell them we are going down, we are starting down, they will come back. They waited to hear exactly what we have to say.
Every word.
and they had their 2 cents to put in as well as to what's not happening and what they thought would have happened and all that and all that. So that makes me feel it makes me feel good there about the campaign. Campaign since February has been going on nicely. We just have to keep up the momentum, and I'm quite sure that we'll benefit from it somewhere down the road.
Yeah, definitely. You can't go wrong by starting your political campaign early. However, as you can see in the last week, the political parties, the 2 other main political parties have stepped up the game. The UPP have their candidates in place. The Labour Party, however, seems to be having a little problem in deciding who they want for the various constituencies. Basically, it is a move by the Prime Minister to consolidate his power. But we'll go into that later into the meeting. What I wanted to make note of is that this very week that just went by, that a man lost his life due to crime. He was murdered. Shot to death.
This is something that's been plaguing the country there.
And that is another one of the failures of the corrupt Labour Party. This administration, which got into office in June 2014, promised people that they were going to have new solutions to the solving of crime. And I do remember just later on down that same year, 2014, about 2-3 months into that year, after they got elected, the Attorney General went on Dave Lester Payne's show on Observer Radio and spoke about how they have almost reduced crime.
75%.
75%. They reduced crime in a little bit of time, just several months that they were in office, by 75%. So basically, their first few months in office, they really wiped out crime. Period.
That's what they wanted people to believe.
Anybody can reduce crime to 75%. They need to be knighted. They need to be given some national honors. Those men should be walking through Antigua and Barbuda, and people should be like throwing roses.
Holding their heads,
throwing panties at them, I suppose. These guys are celebrity. For what was there all the time, they have reduced it in not years. I don't know what they did to reduce it by this much, but I'm going to play the clip. Don't believe me. You listen to what you hear for yourself, right? I don't want you to say that Via say this and Via have no backing support. Listen up to this.
I'm very pleased to report, Dave, that over the past 7 months, crime has decreased by 75%. 75%. I believe that the Commissioner of Police will be able to, he has done a pie chart. We speak every day. We speak every day, and he has given me that assurance. I've seen the pie chart myself.
This guy is not serious, man. He's seen the pie chart.
What can you say about the pie chart?
Well, look, the pie chart, something is wrong with the chart there. Because we have had so many killings after he said that. The crime has just escalated. How you mean? Even more violent. That's right. Even more violent. And I don't understand how he can fix his face to tell the general public that this is what is happening. And he knows that's not what's happening there. It's a horrific situation when it comes to crime there. So many people has lost their life ignorantly and by the negligence of whatever, maybe even the police, because they set it up, some cameras and stuff like that, and people get killed right under the camera, the view of the camera and stuff like that. Sometimes you wonder if these things actually work. I am wondering what's going on with these guys, but what I notice, they are very presumptuous there because they will tell you things that they know is not so, and they can fix their face and tell you that with a straight face, and that is how horrible situation. Crime has not even reduced 1% there. Crime has escalated.
I believe the sort of violent crime we are having in Barbuda, it seemed, I remember there was several years ago under the UPP that they were shooting guys in Grey Farm in the daytime and so on, and everybody was shocked. There was this big, he shot the guy.
Can't imagine that happened.
Right? And then back and forth it ebbed. And
that's
flowed,
right.
But it seems to be that since they got into power, it's just gradually getting worse. I don't see no ebbing and flowing.
No.
I don't have no dog in the fight, right? I don't know much about how to solve crime, but we did put forward its proposals. But I can say from what I remember, on the UPP, it ebbed and flowed.
Yeah,
There's one
up
year
and
when
down.
it went up really
Up
crazy,
and
everybody
down,
was
yes.
scared
Yes.
to go outside.
Oh,
the
yes.
house,
Yeah, man.
right? And then whatever they did, whatever the policies, the police and
Yeah,
the
it
politicians
came down a
were,
little bit.
It came down a bit,
Yes,
and then
came down a
everybody
bit.
was saying breathing a little easier.
Yeah.
I remember they were comparing it to St. Kitts that year when they said that year, I think it was at least 25 people got wiped out in St. Kitts, the violent crime, and they're saying, we in Antigua and Barbuda are one of the islands in the Caribbean with the least amount of violent crime. So you felt good about it, but even though we had 15, 16, 17, 18, that was just ridiculous for us in what we're accustomed to.
We never accustomed to that stuff.
You heard it for yourself. The crime has gone down by 75% in 2014, just about 3-4 months after the corrupt Labour Party took office. Now I want to know from the same politician, the Labour Party, how much has it gone back down? From 75%, has it increased? Has crime increased now? I mean, will they admit to, if they solve crime by 75%, what percentage of crime is there out there, violent crime now?
Yeah.
You know,
They would like to know.
We don't have any solution. They don't have any solution. They haven't said anything.
Yeah.
We have put forward in our manifesto about that we want the populace to have not only forensic, but we want the police to have not only forensic, but we want the police also to be insured, so that when they go there and they're fighting crime and jumping fence and get shot and possibly getting killed,
they're not
in
intimidated
the line
by,
of duty, that they're taken care of financially by insurance.
Because they know that their family is taken care of.
Yeah, and the problem is that there is supposed to be insurance, as we mentioned in the program before. But the problem is that the government, the police, policies, what do they call it? The police society, what do they call it? The police welfare association. Need to look into them paying their members,
pay up the people premiums.
Premiums.
Yes, they need
and
that.
And that is not done. Okay, remember we heard about it from the lady in the constituency.
That's right, in our constituency,
she
exactly.
made certain that she goes up and see the police commissioner, so that her husband's premiums are paid.
She pushes that for
And
her.
I'm pushing for all the wives and husbands of police officers to go and make certain that your premiums are paid up for your loved ones.
Very important.
Because if that isn't done, crap will go smoke your pipe.
Very important.
You understand? So that is where we are on crime. We're not going to go into detail in that one here today because we've dealt with it before. We'll go back into that on another occasion.
Yeah, on another time.
What I wanted to deal with really today is that there was another statement this week about NAMCO. And what NAMCO is, for the people who don't know, last year the Prime Minister spoke about creating a company, and the company's name was the National Asset Management Company, NAMCO. And the way the Prime Minister enunciated what the plan for is that they're going to form a company, the government is going to form a company, and the government is going to put all their private assets into that company. And what I mean by private assets, the holdings in entities such as the West Indies Oil Company, Caribbean Union Bank, State Insurance Corporation, the National Housing Corporation, and several joint venture hotels. And the whole idea that this NAMCO, this company, will hold all these private assets of the government, and that they will build this company that has economic strength behind of it and put it on the stock exchange. And with that, the government will be getting its dividends, yearly dividends, numbering to the hundreds of millions, potentially. And that was supposed to be a super company. I never heard them mention this in their manifesto of 2014, but I believe it's been enunciated by the Prime Minister, so this must be his brainchild. Now, what has been the opposition's complaint about this whole super company, and we have complained about it also, is that you're going to have a government form a company. It's going to take state assets in private ventures, or private state incorporations, statutory incorporations, and put them into that company. That company, will the profits and losses be made public? Because it is owned, the assets that they're taking to put in there to make the backbone of this company are owned by the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
Exactly, the people's money.
So what we wanted to know back then, when he mentioned last year, what about the accounting? Because the money should go to the consolidated fund, whatever profits, right? But you're saying it is a private company. So therefore, they don't really have to account for their losses, what dividends are paying out. You understand?
Can't understand.
You don't
No,
understand?
that is all right. We are telling me.
You saw wrong from the...
Of course,
I'm
it's the
trying
people's
to-
money.
I'm trying to articulate it as best
You
as
know,
possible, Nedwell.
yeah.
But why I mentioned this, just because this week, Melford Nicholas, the Minister of Information, said... Let me tell you what he said. Let me play it for you. That's the best way to go about it.
When will NAMCO's accounts be published?
NAMCO is a private company, just like any other private company in the country, and there will be no necessity for the publication of its accounts.
Did you hear that,
What
Edward?
is this guy talking about?
So it is a private company, incorporated and based on the assets that are owned by the people of Antigua. But we won't know about the accounting because it's a private company.
Yeah. You know, I've heard that earlier with the CIP program too. When they started, they said that they didn't even have to give account of how the money was spent. Nothing
They
at all.
used to say that in opposition also before 2014 that the Bob and Spencer administration
Yeah.
did not have proper accounting because the money for the CIP was not going to the consolidated fund.
That's
That
right.
was going to some fund where the politicians, the prime minister, so would have access
Yeah,
to use
yeah,
the funds as
they
he saw
would have
fit.
control of that. Yeah.
They said in opposition it was wrong. When they got in there, they did the same thing. They did the same thing
same
and probably
thing.
even worse than the UPP.
No, when you started out with this particular article, it says that the government is forming that company. That's
The
what it says?
government is forming that company.
So then-
And the backbone of the company, what the company has. 'Cause you can form a company and that can be just a certificate and that goes in your
All that.
briefcase and it has nothing. But what assets the company
That's
has
right.
is going to be state assets. Right? And as I mentioned to you, it's going to be some of them, not all of them. The government stake in entities such as the West Indies Oil Company,
That's right.
Caribbean Union Bank, State Insurance Corporation, the National Housing Corporation, and several joint venture hotels.
Yeah. So you're forming a company using the state's assets, the people's
Yeah.
money, and don't have to tell the people or nothing about their money.
How their transactions
They
went,
don't go in or
losses,
nothing like that?
profits. I
Yeah.
guess at the end of the day we will
Yeah.
know something because some dividend will go back
Yeah,
to the,
but we
to the-
need to know.
into the consolidated fund.
Uh,
But what they're doing there to me
Uh-huh.
sounds like institutionalized corruption.
Exactly.
There's no proper accounting because it's a private company.
That's what they're trying
But
to say.
I don't care if it's a
Private
private
company
company
set
or
up
not.
by the
It is
government.
my asset.
Of course. We have
So,
to know.
You have a friend that you and a friend form a company, right?
Hey, these
You
guys.
put up your house, your land,
All right.
to give that
Part-
company some chance
sort
of
of
succeeding
assets,
and
yeah.
have some assets,
Assets
and
inside,
some money
yeah.
in it. You fund it, but you don't have to know
They don't have
how
to
the
tell
money
you
was
nothing.
spent,
They have to tell you because
how
it's
much
private.
profit was made,
It's
how
private.
much losses. It's private. It's a private company. And the private company is supposed to be headed by Robin Yearwood. He's
Can you
supposed to be
imagine?
the chairman or one of the
Yeah.
directors on the board,
Yeah.
right? What do you think about the overall, Nedwell? Don't you see that
It's pure
that is a
corruption.
recipe for disaster?
Absolutely, Veer. Absolutely. It's pure. You can see that. You are forming a company, you make it a private company, you're using now the state's assets, the people's money, and yet still you're saying that you don't have to tell the people nothing about their assets.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to tell them the profit and loss, nothing like that. Yeah.
All I suppose we know, because they said that we're going to get a dividend at the end of the year, and the Prime Minister he sees over $20 million. So we're supposed to be saying, oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
You got a $20 million profit.
How much
But
did
they creamed off another 30 or 40
Yeah, how
million.
much did
Who is going to be given, all the cronies are going to be getting the big
Oh
jobs,
man,
the big
serious-
contracts.
all that good stuff.
You understand?
All that good stuff.
So that is the way they said, but that is the law. And that is what the people agree to. It is state-sponsored corruption.
That's right.
Institutionalized
Institutionalized
by,
corruption.
before it's not like somebody come and give you a bag of money. It's now saying that you
Yeah,
got
you can-
a job on the board of NAMCO or you got a contract through NAMCO.
That's right.
But in regards to us knowing who is getting all
Who,
this
where,
money.
what, and how.
The overheads.
No, man.
You
this
don't
is
need
not-
to know that because this
Yeah.
is a private company.
Yeah. A private company set up by the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's so ridiculous. I hope the people are listening. This is all I have to say.
Yeah,
I hope
I
the
heard
people
that
are
clip.
listening keenly as to what's going on. I hope
Yeah.
they're assessing what we're saying here today, so they know exactly what these guys are made of and what they're out to do
It's
with the people's money.
institutionalized.
That's right.
Let me play that clip again so people can hear it because a lot of time the people said that it went by so quick and they
Yeah,
wanted, wanted to marinate
We need them
in
to
their
know
brain
exactly.
what
Yeah.
went on. Hold on there, 1 second.
When will NAMCO's accounts be published?
NAMCO is a private company, just like any other private company in the country, and there will be no necessity for the publication of its accounts.
These guys go to cabinet and talk these things among themselves. I mean, I understand. Right?
This
This
is
is crazy.
institutionalized
Yeah.
corruption.
And he goes on the radio and talking that way.
That are not their assets. Why doesn't Melvin,
you know.
Nicholas, or Gassama put their money in there?
Exactly.
And feel comfortable that they
You
don't
know
know
what
how
I'm
that
saying?
money
Well,
was spent.
Yeah.
It's not their money, so they can't tell us we should know.
No, man.
But anyway, they're so far gone, right?
Yeah.
They're so far gone.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
seems normal for them.
Yeah,
This is
it's a
so-
regular. It's a
so-
regular
this is regular.
occurrence.
This is the normal behavior.
Yeah, regular
So we're not going to get on to the NAMCO anymore. We got to see how
Yeah,
it develops.
let
I'm
them
hoping that
know.
all opposition parties, people opposed to that idea, even within the anti-Labour Party or corrupt Labour,
Of course.
will
That
oppose
doesn't
this
sound
whole
right.
NAMCO.
Doesn't sound right.
Because what they need to do is, if they're going to form this country, which I think overall is a bad idea, they need to make it transparent.
Of
They
course.
need to be able to legislate that it has to come to the people
The
to tell us
people.
how their money was spent.
That's right. The people need to know.
Yeah, what losses
You
they make,
can't-
because it's private, you know. So it's market forces guiding what is sold and what people demand and supply. So therefore, we need to know at the end of the day, is it viable to continue on? My fear is that the company might be a dead duck on arrival and be
Just pulling in
spending more
people's
money
money.
than it's making.
Yeah.
But they keep it alive because it's institutionalized the corruption
Exactly.
to give
So
to their
they-
cronies.
That's right.
You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there was one time when I heard of some $8 million that was invested in the stock market.
Yeah, that was in the Antigua Labour Party
That
where
too?
the former Minister of Tourism, Asset Michael, he said that he lost $8 million on the New York Stock Exchange.
What?
Not his money.
Yeah.
That was the party's money that he picked up, and I don't know with whose approval, but he wasn't the treasurer. He wasn't a member of the parliament at the
you
point
see.
in time it happened.
That's
But
right.
nobody asked for an accounting,
No account
and that
was
was
given.
Labour Party money.
See
So
what
you
I'm
see
saying?
how
It's a
the
regular-
way they act in the party, it transfers over to the way they act in government.
That's exactly what
They
it is.
didn't account for the $8 million from the party's funds.
That's right.
So when they come to a government, they see no need that they need to
They
account
don't
to
give
the
account
people.
for that either. So it's a
For their
customary
money.
thing.
And that is just the
Yeah, it's a
mentality
customary
where
thing for
I
them,
do
guys.
not support.
No.
It is not only political for me with the Labour Party or corrupt Labour.
Right.
It is a social thing.
Of course.
I don't feel comfortable around
You
these
can't do that,
people.
no.
They're backstabbers. So I just leave them alone. And one thing I know about them, they love to eat their own vomit, boy. They will say something today, and they'll go right back and act like they never
How
said
you
it.
mean? Like it never happened?
You will take the lowest principle for them to stand on,
Yeah.
and they will not even bother with that.
No.
No.
This is,
So, Nedwell, we're going to move on now. We're going to go on to even to some more Labour Party business because what we see now, they're having a little toss-up in the
Yeah.
constituency, so who are
There's
going to
some
be
rift as
the
well.
candidates moving forward to the general election or whatever it's called. In rural East, the Honourable Lester Brian Bird appears to be taking a bow. And he will not be contesting in the next election. Well, what happened this week? The Prime Minister himself told him he's going to be taking a bow and told him that they're going to replace him with somebody else.
Okay.
But even more concerning is that the people who have done the hard work up there over the last several years, Clarence Pilgrim, Michael Freeland,
Freeland, yes,
and Lindsey Grant-Williams, they've all been thrown under the bus.
Sideline.
And it appears that the Prime Minister wants his wife to be the representative of that constituency.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister, to me, is just consolidated his power over the party. He's brought in his wife now that can bring home the seats in St. John's Rural South. Because Rural East.
Yeah.
Apologize.
That's right.
And that is a way to solidify the votes that he will get at the convention, if there's anybody that is willing to challenge him. And even so, to get his policies out. From what I'm hearing, I got a phone call today. And somebody told me that what has happened up there is that Lindsey Grant Williams was out there campaigning and putting her hat in the ring to be in the primary, to be the candidate.
Okay.
Right? They've been campaigning with the people. Then they heard that there was this poll that was done by Peter Wickham.
Right, I heard.
And that it says that the one who came out ahead in the poll was Maria Bird Brown.
The wife of the Prime Minister.
I heard subsequently to that is that what happened is that the branch wrote a letter saying that they do not want her to be the caretaker or the representative of the constituency.
Okay.
But the Prime Minister and the powers that be in the party never mentioned that there was a letter dissenting to her being the prospective candidate.
Right.
But this is the sort of behavior that is common in that organization.
Where your example?
I am an example of
typical
it.
example
I
of
put
that.
in my letter to challenge Eustace Tico Lake. The letter was written on the 16th of January 2013.
Yep.
By the 23rd of January, I heard a response, not on my ticket, not a letter in writing, but from the leader of the party at that point in time, Gaston Brown, saying he don't want me to run on his ticket. I said that I wrote a letter to the Antigua Labour Party. I didn't realize that I never wrote a letter to Gaston Brown.
That's right.
But you see the same people who are having problems today. The Michael Freelands, the Lester Bryant Bird, the Lindsey Grant Williams.
Yeah, they went along with that.
Nobody spoke up at that point in time.
They went along with it.
They had no problem with what was happening to somebody else. But what you say at that point in time, today is for me, but tomorrow will be for you.
That's a stick. The stick that hit the wall will hit the tail.
Tame. Lester saying now that, he don't think he was given due respect because he should have been the one to be able to announce that he wasn't going to run again, and he had to open up a newspaper and see that he wasn't going to run. But I'm asking Lester Bryant, what sort of respect did you give to your father?
That's right.
When you felt that he was too old and too unhealthy to run, did you go up there and offer him your assistance so that he could keep running? I said, Dad, this burden is too heavy for you.
Let me
and
work
you can't
with you.
carry it all alone.
Yeah,
but as a son, I will share your burden. None of that is ever done as far as I'm aware. But no, karma.
Come right back round.
He's not pleased.
No. Because it's
no,
not
with
right.
Michael Freeland now, the situation is that he apparently wanted to run in Rural East also. But the Prime Minister let off on the man. In the newspaper accused him of doing an auction and not paying the people entitled to the monies from the auction. Now, I don't know if this is true, but even if it were true, that was not in the public domain.
No.
And I believe that the Prime Minister, the leader of the party, should have pulled Mr. Freeland aside and asked questions of him and tell him, before I can consider you or the branch consider you,
we have to get this
to
clear.
go settle up with these people.
We need to get
if
this
it is true.
Yeah.
I'm saying if, because I don't believe any word come out of Gaston Brown's mouth. But if it is true, I believe the young man deserves to be able to straighten up himself,
of course,
and come to the public as a servant, as a public servant. Because I am not aware of any criminal charges against him or any arrest of the man for this money.
Okay.
So why is the Prime Minister the one, the man
up
from his own comrade, from his own party, coming out and outing the man like this? Mr. Freeland was thrown on the bus. You see, Michael? You saw the round done 2014 leading up to the 2014 elections.
You went along
and
with
most
it.
of you all, before you all stand up for what is right,
Yeah.
you all keep your head down and say, oh, it didn't affect me. And I am still having my political career, and I'm going to be made a senator, and I'm going to be working on a public works, and maybe next time I can become a minister if I just keep my mouth shut.
And so forth.
No,
it's
you
affecting
have been
them.
discredited.
It's affecting them.
You have been accused of a criminal act by your leader, by one of your comrades. Then we move on to a Lindsey Grant Williams. there was even before this incident, right? She attempted to run in St. George's. That was when Dean Jonas came over from the UPP, and they had a primary, and they did some shenanigans with her too. She most likely would have been running in St. George, right? So it's happened to her not only once but twice.
Came right back.
Alicia, when you ought to have spoken up,
you did
against what happened, and speak out of what happened to you against Dean Jonas. You said nothing. You benefited because you become the president of the upper house, right? But it looks to me, from the way things going, that will be it for you.
That's right.
You're not going to be the representative of St. John's Rural East.
Exactly.
So you made your bed. My advice to Sir Lester Bryan Bird, to Senator Michael Freeland, and President Alinsa Grant Williams is to, you made your bed, lay down in it.
Rest in it.
That is what it's all about. Hey, you know, Nedwell, it's such an amazing thing, because even down in Grace Farm area, the constituency of St. John's Rural West, I'm hearing that the Prime Minister wants to revive the career of one ambassador, Gail Christian. It appears that what is happening there is that, well, I've heard it 7 months ago, Gail is wishing she never listened to her preacher's advice. She went to a minister of faith of her church to ask her should she resign from active politics. And the advice from the minister was to get out of that corrupt stuff.
That's right.
And she seemed to be doing all right. She then went and became an ambassador, so she's kind of cozying up to them still, getting some financial reward. You can't leave the politics altogether, because that's the only way you can make a nice killing financially. She's been the ambassador to Mexico for the last 3 years or more.
Since
you hear any
nothing,
any positive developments? We get anything from that diplomatic relationship with Mexico?
Not a thing there. Nothing.
Absolutely
nothing.
You know, so, but go ahead.
It's a horrific situation to know that the Prime Minister, he can just ease out who he wants to and put who he wants to in there and stuff like that with his, rhetoric and all that. It's not a nice situation there. That one man has this sort of power to control a whole group of people the way he wants to. I don't know how they allow this. You faced it in your situation there where nobody else said anything when they saw you were going through your situation.
Trials and tribulations,
it's horrible, and it's not a nice thing. And when you allow the Prime Minister to do this, he just, it's like a testing. A tester where he can go further.
How far can he get with it?
And how far he can go with this nonsense. The people need to speak out. The people around him need to show some sort of, show that they have something in them as well, that you can't just sit back and allow this man to do what he feels like and all this. And this is why this new company they're forming, I will hope. NAMCO. I will hope. I will hope his associates will speak up and let him know. That this is not a right thing to do the way how you're going about doing things. But it appears to me that, they're all singing for their supper. So they hush them out and allow these things to happen. And no matter how it hurts the country, because it's hurting the country, it's not taking the country anywhere. But they still go along with it there.
That is the way it is right now in Antigua and Barbuda, and more so with the corrupt Labour Party.
Pitiful.
You saw what they did to Eustace Italy. The Prime Minister tell you that he's unhealthy and he can't run in the next election.
You sick, you can't be
right. But I'd like to know how many of the other comrades saw that this is being wrong and spoke up for Eustace Italy or Lindsey Grant Williams or Lester Bryan Bird or Michael Freeland. They'll grumble under their breath, but they're not going to do a thing. Why would I want to be associated with people like this? These people have no moral fiber, no ethical standard. There's law of the jungle that operates that organization.
Very much so.
And you just hold your side.
But a young man met me about 3 days ago. He stopped his vehicle. He says, "Hey, I know you're in the political arena, and I need to tell you this. I went over to Barbuda a couple days back, and what I'm seeing I don't like. I've seen a group of people, they're not Antiguans, they're not Barbudans, and they are the ones who are saying that they're doing the renovations in Barbuda. And he says that is not good at all. He said, what happens to Antigua people? They are not speaking out. He's not from Antigua there. He's from one of those other big islands, Caribbean island, but one of the bigger ones. And he was saying something is wrong because Antigua people sees this and they're not saying anything. But not only Antigua people, the comrades of the Prime Minister, they need to show, his colleagues. They need to have something inside them that will say, look, you're able to tell them, look, you're not going down the right path. And they're not doing this at all there. Everything they let, and this is why he believes that everything he does, he's supposed to end up look like he's right. All because that his colleagues are not saying to him, look, Mr. Prime Minister, this is not the right path at this time. You need to take a second look, and these things are not happening there. And this is hampering the country. And I just do hope that they themselves will take a second look at how they are operating and do the right thing.
That will never happen. Let me tell you from now. That's not going to happen, not with those sort of people.
But it needs to be, because the country needs to be taken at heart. And if it's not about country, it's all self-servant. It's all that you're looking at your own development, personal development, rather than the development of the country. The country is this is what the people elect you for. They put you there so you can handle the country's situation in a proper way. They gave you that mandate so you can take care of the people. You are administrating the people's life. And you are supposed to be looking at this and making sure that the people are benefiting even before you. Because these are the people that hired you on election day to take care of their plight and to take care of their concerns and to make sure that you can set a situation that will benefit their lives somewhere down the road. So if you are not doing this, you are absolutely off track. You understand? And this is what's happening in Antigua right now. The ministers themselves, they don't care. Accountability and stuff like that is not a regular word in Antigua. And this is what that is needed. You need to be able to give account because the people hired you on election day. You went prior to the election and you tell the people, hey, I can do the job. This job is done, and the other people who is doing it now is not doing it well, and all this. Now the time comes. You're behaving like you don't even have to give account. And this is wrong there. This is absolutely incorrect. So the people them need to know that, look, if this is the way the politicians are going to behave, you have to be very serious of how you elect and put people into parliament, because they're not dealing with the people's concerns. You are setting up a company with the people's asset, and you're telling the people, look, this as a private company, then they really have to tell you not how the assets are run, or how the money will go, and what profit and loss and all that. They don't have to tell you because it's a private company, he said. I think that's what I heard. It's a private company. Yeah, and they need to get, do something different there as to how they are handling the people affairs. The people affairs are not handling properly. Now, again, within the constituency of East, City East it is, Rural East, and you're saying that the people wrote a letter to you, and it's like it wasn't even done, because it's not mentioned by the Prime Minister, it's not even looked at by the Prime Minister. He just do what he wants to do, and continue, and he say, well, you're out, and my wife is in, and all that. And that's a horrible situation again. We can look at, see that that's a terrible path that we are paving to go down. Because from here allowed to do this, what else that he would not be allowed to do there? It's the people. And if the people writes a letter and wrote you a letter and tell you, hey, we don't want this to happen in our constituency, and you totally ignore that there, What else won't you do there?
Yep,
It's the people. It's all about the people. And the government, the A.L.P government, doesn't make it look as if that's what it is. I remember not too long back when we, I think it's the same minister there that was talking about the constituency allowance.
Melford.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, he was saying, look, you know, the constituency allowance is not it's for us to do what we want to do with. And we know different there. And the way how they try to just fool the people and tell the people what they want to tell them and do as they like, this is not right there. We can't allow this. How the people allow that, I don't know.
Very
so,
true.
you know, we need to take a second look of how we do business here in Antigua. As I said, I think about a week or two ago, you've been listening to all these international networks and stuff like that. You see how people handle affairs. You see what people are concerned about what's affecting them. But Antigua people seems not even like that. I was told yesterday that there was a walk to the market, the public market, by one party, and people from the other party were heckling them.
Yeah.
I thought those situations, they were gone. People know, you know, I think it's a situation where people have to start listening and understanding which way we are going and if it's the right way. But when people are continuing with the same old time way of doing things, one party come through, and it's either one. It doesn't matter which you do, either one, the opposite people that's with them, we start heckling forever, and it is. It's not a nice situation. And again, the people, it comes down to the people. The people need to look at this situation properly, look at who you're voting into parliament. You have to stop thinking that this party line business and all that. That is not helping the situation well. You have to look at the individual. Is this individual qualified one? Is this individual suitable one because of how he behaves, he carries himself, and all this? These are the things you have to look into. You can't just pick up any old person. Some of them, you don't even know a thing about them. You haven't even heard about them until they've been announced as a candidate. But next thing you know, you just jump on the bandwagon because he's with this organization. No, it's hurting the country, and it's going to hurt the country even more if we continue to go down that path. So the people, it's all about the people there.
Well said, Nedwell. But I would also like to say is that with Gay Christian, typical example. I mean, she saw what happened at that convention, so now she's saying, I want to get back into the game, so forget all of that. That's all in the past. Let's just move on to another convention, another election.
Another chapter.
You understand? My whole situation was, it's not that it happened, because things can go wrong, and they do have crooked people in any organization. Even in the churches, you have people that are bad.
That's right.
So you don't just leave an organization because they're bad people in it. You stick around because you want to change it for the better.
Right. That's right.
But when my question was, if it happened at that convention that there was corruption the way it had gone down, what are we going to guarantee that it doesn't happen again? That's
so
my
true.
question to the comrades.
So
Nobody gave me an answer to this day.
But you see,
neither the leader, Lester Bird, Malvin Joseph, Gaston Brown, nobody.
None of them.
So you know what you said?
Yeah.
Let the ball roll.
Of course.
This is the way it is.
But then it's likely to happen again because, as you say, his colleagues are not even saying, look, this is not the right path, you know.
No.
This is needed in an organization.
Very much
as
so.
you say, you have bad people, you know, you're supposed to have some good ones as well.
More good outnumbered
exactly.
Bad. Yeah.
And when the ones that say they profess to be the good ones are not saying anything of the bad situation that's created by this.
Towing the line.
It's more than likely that will happen time and time
again. We saw that leading up to the election in 2014 since 2012, and now it's happening again. 2017 leading up to 2019. 19. It's supposed to be June 2019. Still have a little time, you know.
Of course,
June 2019. So yes, Antigua and Barbuda, that is the state of that organization. I do not regret leaving those people. It's not something that the way I grew up and the way I was raised that you need to be dependent on a political organization for your daily living or for your notoriety or to be considered somebody big in society, I have to be a part of the corrupt Labour Party. I'm telling the people of Antigua and Barbuda that we formed this organization, Antigua Barbuda True Labour Party, on the 5th of July 2013. Now we've had our ups and downs as a new organization, a relatively new organization, but I do believe the ups and downs are experienced by all organizations. And those that are successful can speak about the trials and tribulations that they have experienced. So if anybody of the opinion that the True Labour Party is dead and gone, my advice to them is don't count out True Labour. We will build our organization and it will take time. And I've always stressed, this organization is in for the long haul. This is for the long term, not for the short term. We're not going to compromise our principles just to get enough candidates to run an election to get into parliament. Because you go into parliament with people that you can't even trust. You're looking over your shoulders and worried about what they're going to do and what they're going to say. So before that, we go on that line, which I believe is the way the other parties are conducting themselves, let us build our organization
and a solid foundation
to strength.
That's right.
And we move on from there.
Solid.
But Nedwell, I'm just surprised that the way these people eat their own vomit. I mean, to me, these people who want to get into power and compromise themselves, I've seen it so many times in the corrupt Labour Party. It's like if they said vomit, my vomit, let me eat that, and I hope there's seconds.
Yes, mine. It's mine. No, seriously. One decides that they're going to resign from an organization because, it's corrupt. And
what did she see that was so bad that she had to go to her priest and ask him advice? What should she do?
What did he see that was so bad to say, look, you better leave that corrupt organization?
You know what happened, Edward? Is it's like she's there with this priest. And this priest is giving this advice on what he's heard.
Yeah.
So did she go to him for the advice to get back in the mix? To get back into it? I doubt it. There's something sweet in the Labour Party. Labour Party, government, and I could be a member of parliament.
Of course.
Or it's something along those lines. I'm not buying it, Gail. I mean, I can't say I thought better of you because you're one of the comrades and I know how these people operate, right? But it's just amazing that you're gone all the way out on the limb to resign.
Yeah, then
you remember her resignation was formal. My resignation was like this. All right, not on your ticket. Let me go form my own party.
I'm heading out.
No formal letter or anything.
No looking back. None of that.
Formal letter of resigning as the chairman of the Labour Party and blue and a blah blah and all that, no longer the caretaker and all that stuff for Rural West.
That's right.
But no, I mean, she didn't resign from the party. Let me make that clear. She just resigned from the chairmanship. And I guess let it be known that she was not going to run on the ticket, or they replaced her.
Yeah.
Right? And then, she was a senator also. They took her out of that too for Arthur Nibs.
Okay, right.
And that is where she made her stand. And that is where after 3.5 years, she no longer that is all water off a duck's back.
She misses it. She has to go back.
She misses it. Good luck to all of them. Nedwell, we're going to come to an end of our show now. It's already that time.
Not at all.
2 minutes into the show.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
Okay,
I'm going to say a few words and I'm going to leave it over to you.
Yes.
Antigua Labour Party, Antigua Barbuda, the True Labour Party, is convinced that our plans and policies will be the solution to the hardship that the common man, the labourers, are receiving or getting meted out to them by the other political organizations. The whole idea for the True Labour Party is to put out good policy. And one of our aims is not just to let people know who the candidates are to vote for on election day, but to put out our manifesto way before any other political organization so the people can decide and see what a proper political policy is to relieve them of their hardships in Antigua and Barbuda. Bear with us, and before we even mention candidates, who will be the candidates, because we still have until June 2019 when it's constitutionally due. We are working on our manifesto to let people be aware of the way we stand on the various issues plaguing your lives. In addition to that, the campaign, as we said, is going well. our candidates are out there campaigning, and hopefully they will be bringing home those seats.
That's right.
Because I'll be honest with you, we will not be fielding 17 candidates this time around. But what we do field will be people that have integrity. And people who have some genuine concern to assist the people in their constituency to improve their lives. That is what I promise the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Anything less is nothing that you really need in your life right now. You don't need to go out and vote for people who can simply form a government because they have over 9.
They have the amount of people.
The necessary 9 to form a government.
The
Because
caliber.
you may have a full slate, and you can see what the full slate has brought to St. John's Rural South.
Has been doing to
Absolutely nothing.
been
You
doing
can have a minimum of 9 or 10 to win government, and still the people don't get any sort of benefit in their lives. So
That's true.
I'm saying to you to keep an open mind and to look and vote and support the individual who you feel will best represent you. Because all of this voting because you can form government, you like to form a government. But
What
the
the
government
did for you.
does not have your interest at heart.
They're not doing nothing for you.
That is what happened to the people of St. John's Rural South. I'm speaking about what I know. That they were eager to form government, and they formed the corrupt Labour Party administration in 2014.
17,
But
see?
what has happened to the lives of the people in St. John's Rural South? The lack of employment, the neglect, the community center in Golden Grove, not Grove community,
How about
where a young girl was sexually assaulted,
Huh?
and there's no mention of the representative
no concern.
of this fact. No concern. Couldn't care less. You know, what I'm saying is that if I am elected, if you take a look at me and see that I elect you, we will resolve these issues. We will take them down one by one and make certain that we go as far as possible to have you have some sort of peace of mind. Because after you go and vote and spend all that energy to put on the shirt and support and back them, you are left with nothing but the shirt on your back.
That's the test.
And that is all I really have to say for this episode of True Labour Talks. Nedwell, over to you now. For the outro.
Yes, you have to care about the country in order to operate in the kind of way that you're talking about. And in the True Labour Party, you notice everything that we are dealing with, we think of the country first. You know, it's not a self-development thing for the True Labour Party. We say the country, is this going to benefit the country? How does it going to benefit the country? And then we pursue. But, the people needs now to understand where we are coming from, and I know what we plan to do for them. And if they really think seriously, they will see what we are planning to do for them is something that is going to benefit them for the rest of their lives. Something that's going to even benefit their kids and grandkids. So in terms of True Labour Party, to me, seems to be the only organization out there that has that sort of a mindset in the way that we are going to go about doing things for the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
Yeah.
If you notice, every time we get on the ear, because we are on Variety Radio every Saturday, and the comrade leader will just talk about the representation that we intend to give to these people of Antigua and Barbuda, something that they haven't seen since Papa Bird's time. Long time. And this is what is needed to come back into the daily lives of the people, where proper representation, the representation of the people comes first. And this is not happening at all. We have politicians out there that don't even tell the people what they want to, what they're doing. They're traveling in the name of Antigua to do this and do that. They go out there, we don't even know what happened when they get back there. They don't say a word as to what the accomplishments are. And this thing has been going on since Papa Bird too long since Papa Bird left office. So we are, in terms of I know that True Labour Party is the best option out there right now.
Yeah.
As you said, we may not able to fill the 17 seats. One never knows where, because people now will start listening to us, and I know we are particular how we choosing people, because we just don't want to choose for numbers.
Yeah, just fill up the
Fill
seats.
numbers. But all in all, there's some possibility, and if not, still, all in all, we are out there to serve the general public and to do the very best for the country of Antigua and Barbuda.
Well said. Well spoken. So yes, ladies, you take good care. God willing, we'll be back next week with another episode of True Labor Talks. Until then, bye for now.
A buzzard took a monkey for a ride in the air. The monkey thought that everything was on the square. The buzzard tried to throw the monkey off of his back, but the monkey grabbed his neck and said, "Now listen, Jack, straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Ain't no use in diving. What's the use of diving? Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top." The buzzard told the monkey, "You are choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free." The monkey looked the buzzard right dead in the eye and said, "Your story's so touching, it sounds just like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top." Bree-bree-doo, bree-bree-doo, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The buzzard told the monkey, "You are choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free." The monkey looked the buzzard right dead in the eye and said, "Your story's so touching, it sounds just like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top."